Then a rabbit darted out of cover on the trail ahead. He quickly fired his rifle. Oh, you husky! Oh, Mike, you fool! That shot grazed King's head.
Oh, it couldn't have, Sergeant.
Come here, King. Hold still a minute, boy. There, you see? His ear's bleeding. You nicked it.
Sergeant, I'm sorry. I've always been a good shot.
After this, don't shoot in front of my dog team.
I'm mighty sorry, Sergeant. That rabbit came out on the trail so sudden, I just fired without thinking.
After a brief rest, the two men continued on the killer's trail.
Oh,
Each passing hour took them deeper into the wilderness. Preston knew from the condition of the tracks that he was gaining on the man ahead. That night, the second on the trail, there was no cabin to give shelter.
We'll camp right here in the woods.
Looks like there's no choice.
If you'll pack down the snow, I'll go cut some wood from that fallen tree.
Yeah, sure thing. You got the axe?
Come on, King.
you hear what he said? From the fallen tree.
With King at his side, the sergeant moved about 50 yards from the campsite and started work on a fallen tree. Though it was night, northern light reflecting on the snow gave an eerie glow to the vicinity. King suddenly grew tense. He watched a clump of trees directly behind his master's back. Then suddenly he charged.
King! Hey, look out! Get away, you cur! Let them pull off your dog!
Hey, what's wrong?
Dog, get him off!
Boy, back. What's the meaning of this, Mike?
Hold him while I get up.
Steady, King.
We're just coming to help you. I thought you need some help bringing back the wood, and your dog attacked me.
King doesn't attack without reason.
Well, he attacked me.
Why did you carry a rifle if you came to help me bring back...
Well, I was afraid some animal
Mike,
might...
you'd better tell me the truth.
Can't leave
Truth?
the rifle
What do you
laying
mean?
around
I think
somewhere.
you deliberately tried to kill King earlier today.
It's Canada, eh?
Were you trying to do it again, or was I to be the target?
Sergeant Preston, why should I want to shoot your dog? Or you? I'm counting on you to get the killer of my best
Mike,
friend.
for some reason, King doesn't trust you. He roused me last night when you were moving around the cabin.
I was thirsty.
Yeah. Today you fired a shot. If it had been a couple of inches lower, you would have killed King. Willing to give you the benefit of the doubt in that case, but now...
I was just coming to help you carry the wood.
King wouldn't attack you for that.
Well, he did. If I'd wanted to shoot you, Sergeant, I'd have done it back at Sam's cabin.
There was too much risk in shooting me where my body might be found, and a manhunt started before you could reach the border. Furthermore, you'd have run the risk of meeting someone who would recognize my dog team and ask questions. Here, it would be easy for you to reach the border before anyone knew of the shooting.
But why would I shoot you?
I think you're working with the killer and planning to join him and share the stolen gold.
You're accusing me of helping murder my best friend.
I haven't accused you of anything, Mike, but I'm going to take precautions from now on. I'm going to handcuff you.
No.
Yes, and when we travel, you'll ride the sled and be handcuffed.
I want that dog.
Better do as I say, Mike. Stick out your hands. Mike spent the night in handcuffs. The following morning, he was forced to ride the sled with his wrists still fastened together. As Preston continued on the trail of the man ahead, he saw that huge rocks bordered the sides of the tracks through the snow. And then suddenly, from the rocks ahead, a shot rang out. Sergeant Preston staggered back from the fearful impact of a bullet, then fell. King quickly turned the team off the trail and out of the street in the direction of the shot. Mike cried out, "Pete! Pete, look out for that dog!" But Mike's warning came too late. Pete's attention had been focused on Sergeant Preston lying in the snow. He did not notice the oncoming dog until King leaped over the rock. Pete was bowled over. His rifle flew from his hand. Mike, help me! Help me! I can't help you. I'm trapped in this mess. King knew this was the man his master had been trailing for several days. The great dog stood over Pete, who lay flat on his back in the snow, hardly daring his master, who lay on the trail behind the sled. But training dictated his duties. He stood on guard and growled menacingly each time Pete made a move. Then Sergeant Preston slowly and painfully regained his feet. The hood of his parka was cut by the bullet, and a trickle of blood ran down the side of his cheek from the scalp wound. He saw King just ahead, standing guard over the man who was only partially concealed by the boulder. Watch him, King. Hold him, boy.
Oh, the dog, the boy killed me.
He'll not hurt you unless you try to get away.
Sergeant Preston, this is the end of the trail. There's the man who killed Sam, and he tried to kill you, too. You see, I didn't have anything to do with it. He's the murderer.
I'll deal with you later, Mike. Sergeant Preston staggered through the snow a few yards ahead of the sled. He picked up the rifle
I'll take that gun.
Then took the pistol from the killer's belt. All right, King, let him up, but watch him, boy. Get up, Pete. That dog. Don't try to escape or he'll be after you. Sergeant Preston saw Pete's sled and dog team drawing close to the shelter of a massive boulder. Though he was weak and his head throbbed, he forced himself to remain on his feet while he inspected the sled. In a moment, he found the gold that had been stolen from Sam Jackson. He left it on the sled and then turned to Pete.
Sit down on that sled.
What are you going to do?
Going to tie you to your sled the same way Mike tied to mine. Your own dogs will take you to Dawson and to jail.
Why have you handcuffed Mike?
Because I suspected he plotted with you to murder Sam Jackson. Now I'm sure of it. You see, I was knocked down by your bullet, but I wasn't wholly unconscious. I heard Mike call you by name and warn you to look out for King. I heard you call on Mike for help. That should hold you.
You may think you have the upper hand, Preston, but it's a long way to Dawson. A mighty long way for a man whose head has been brushed by a bullet.
King, you'll have to lead the team, boy. I drive this team. We have a big job ahead of us, but we'll manage it. We must. Line them up, King.
So those dogs would just keep running in a straight line where they were told to. In this
It was
case,
3
that
days
one
later
people
when
where he was
Inspector
told to go
Conrad,
tell
looking
them
through the
to
window
get
of headquarters in Dawson, saw 2 dog
there.
sleds
If you fall
brought
off
to
the
a
dog
halt.
sled, you're
Hey,
fucked.
Scott, that's Sergeant Preston. Preston, what has happened to you? A ghost. Who are these men?
Killers of Sam Jackson, sir. Stolen gold on the sled.
Constable Norris, take charge of the men on these sleds. Yes. Preston, you come inside with me. Let me help you. You've been wounded.
Oh, just a scalp wound, sir.
Yeah, now. You get easy. Lean on me.
They planned it well, sir. Left a clear trail to follow. Took me 3 days from here. Planned to kill me and escape to Alaska.
Sit down here. I'll have the surgeon look at your wound immediately.
Oh, I'll be all right, sir. I'm just tired. Land this is.
Easy does it, Sergeant. Lie back, son. Lie back and sleep. You good? I'll say it for you. This case is closed.
Is it? What is? He need medical help? What the fuck?
We'll return in just a moment with a word about our next exciting adventure. But first, here is Sergeant Preston.
Now, boys and girls, get ready for some exciting news. Let's join our old friend Gabby Hayes and hear about it.
Please show us the Gabby. Go ahead. What is it, Gabby?
Simmer down. Simmer down. See this hat I'm wearing?
Yeah, I've always wondered where you got that same beat-up looking hat. Oh, it's
Why this
really
popped up
different.
on
I'd give
my
anything to
browser.
have a hat like yours, Gabby. Me, too. I bet there isn't another hat like it in the whole world.
Well, that's just it. Everybody keeps saying the same thing about this hat of mine. Where did you ever get that hat?
I'm
Never
so
saw
glad
a hat
I
like
don't
it in my life.
have mental
And that's the
impression.
truth. Ain't none. So I decided to spring a surprise on all you buckaroos, radio listeners, movie goers, televisionary fans, and everybody.
Buckaroo.
I've got some hats made like mine up special for all my friends.
Oh, boy, isn't that swell? All the kids will want me.
You're darn tootin'. Hands on a hat like mine and wear it yourself. Well, here's your big chance. It's like the hat I always wear in my Western movies and on my televisionary programs. I brought some along for you to see for yourself.
Oh, give it here. Just like yours, Gabby. Oh, let me put mine on right away.
You notice everything they marketed was visual on the radio. Why not some sort of sound making stupid type of toy instead of a signal light? I don't know what type of clothing would make noise, but you're selling stupid. How about cowboy spurs instead of cowboy hats? Like it would make noise.
A cord under your chin with a hitch to hold it tight.
Police
And
whistle
listen,
or whatever.
this Gabby Hayes Prospector's hat isn't paper or flimsy stuff. It's made of real good quality soft wool felt.
Real.
And I mean...
So you don't have news for us
l'actualité d'Yvan Amar. Et pour retrouver tout le dictionnaire d'Yvan Amar, vous pouvez aller sur notre site rfi.fr, rubrique mots de l'actualité. Allez, un peu de musique pour terminer avec Armand Méliès, de folk électrique, avec un extrait de son dernier album, Laurel Canyon. L'extrait s'appelle Météore, avec Hubert Félix Stephen.
You said actualité.
Nous étions météores, et la nuit nous regardait s'émir. Un peu de goût, un peu d'or, et quelques émus.
Even to an eighth of an inch. You send this measurement with your order. We'll send you.
Allez là où la pierre un frisson nous attend. Le juste tombe c'est le cœur dans les vivants nous étions météores et en quelques soupirs infinis de ma venait un trésor. Tombé riche de souvenirs, nous étions météores. Nous annoncions un jour devant nous, vision de mendiants gouvernants. Parmi les rêves d'Amérique, allez là où la pierre brûle. Oh, météores, un frisson nous attend.
Sergeant Preston of the...
That's Radio France International Africa. And you can, so the other one was the Shock FM is in Toronto. We're listening to African French music. In Africa, they're listening to, I swear to God, the one time on Okapi Radio, I heard Vanilla Ice. One of his other songs, right? Of course.
Hey, stereo.
Whoa. Where is it? Holy shit. Oh, thank you. That is 2 street sweepers in the past year. That is 2 street sweepers in the past year. I've been a street sweeper for the MP. My problem.
Feel fresh again. Delicious Orange Crush. This is J. Michael wishing you goodbye, good luck, and good health from Quaker Puff Wheat and Quaker Puff Rice. So long. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
I think I was wearing the jumpsuit almost a year before I put this shit on. It's freaking, we're gonna be strange driving by and shit. I don't know what to do.
Grégory, bonjour à tous. À la une ce matin, les Kivu dans l'est de la République démocratique du Congo, alors que la chef de la mission de l'ONU dans le pays était hier à Beni, dans le nord Kivu, où elle a promis d'améliorer le système mis en place pour répondre aux attaques des groupes armés. Reportage au sud Kivu, dans le territoire de Chabuna, lui aussi en proie aux attaques des groupes armés. Dans ce journal également, le chef du village de Sido, dans le sud du Tchad, qui demande de l'aide pour les réfugiés qui ont recommencé à affluer ces derniers jours de Centrafrique. Centrafrique. Les violences et les exactions commises dans la région du Tigré en Éthiopie, examinées hier par le Conseil de sécurité de l'ONU. Et Madagascar qui ferme ses écoles pour 2 semaines supplémentaires face à la recrudescence des cas de coronavirus observés depuis 1 mois et demi. La chef de la MONUSCO répond aux manifestants de ces dernières semaines en République démocratique du Congo. Bintou Keïta était hier à Beni, dans la province du Nord Kivu, là où de nombreux habitants accusent la force de l'ONU d'inaction face aux violences des groupes armés, voire demandent le départ des casques bleus. La chef de la mission de l'ONU assure notamment que des unités censées être plus réactives sont en train d'être mises en place et elle souhaite aussi améliorer le système d'alerte. Un déplacement au Nord Kivu alors que les manifestations y sont toujours interdites et qu'un jeune homme a été tué hier lors d'un rassemblement à Oicha, d'après le président de la société civile locale, tué par une balle tirée par des policiers lors d'un de ces rassemblements. Le Nord Kivu, qui n'est pas la seule région de l'Est congolais qui inquiète la MONUSCO, c'est le cas aussi de la province voisine du Sud Kivu, et en particulier le territoire de Shabunda, qui vit lui aussi au rythme des attaques, des pillages. Gouloubé.
Dans ce village d'environ 40 000 habitants, des femmes et surtout des jeunes filles expriment leur chagrin avec prudence car, à quelques mètres d'ici, les combattants Maïmaï se cachent dans la forêt. Dorika, 18 ans, a été victime du viol il y a 2 ans.
J'étais élève. Sur le chemin de l'école, avec mes camarades, nous avons croisé les Rayamutumboki. Ils m'ont prise par force, ils m'ont violée avant de voler tout ce qu'ils ont trouvé sur nous. Plus tard, je me suis rendu compte que j'étais enceinte.
Comme tant d'autres villages, Kigouloubé a été victime des attaques et violences sexuelles perpétrées d'abord par les rebelles rwandais de FDLR entre 1996 et 2010, ensuite par les groupes d'autodéfense locale dénommés Rayamutomboki après le départ des FDLR. La situation sécuritaire actuelle inquiète la MONUSCO. Karna Soro est son chef de bureau à Bukavu.
La situation reste extrêmement précaire dans la zone de Shabunda. C'est aussi un endroit où les groupes armés se livrent à l'exploitation artisanale illégale des minerais, qui leur permet donc de se procurer aussi naturellement les moyens létaux de commettre leurs forfaits. Nous recevons sur la zone de Shabunda en moyenne par semaine autour d'une vingtaine d'alertes.
La MONUSCO affirme qu'elle travaille d'arrache-pied avec les autorités locales du Sud Kivu afin de rétablir l'autorité de l'État à Shabunda. Malgré cela, la société civile de Kigouloubé déplore aussi le mauvais état des routes et surtout les faibles effectifs militaires pour contrôler la zone et interpelle le nouveau gouvernement. William Bassimike, Bukavu, RFI.
À la RDC, où notre consoeur de RFI, Sonia Rollet, était hier à Kananga pour répondre en tant que renseignante au procès de l'assassinat en mars 2017 de 2 experts de l'ONU, Michael Sharp et Zaida Catalan. Elle a été interrogée car elle a mené plusieurs enquêtes sur la région au moment des faits et elle était hier accompagnée de l'avocat maître Jean-Marie Kabengela.
La Cour a d'abord tenu à remercier RFI via Sonia Rollet pour le respect manifesté envers la justice congolaise en déplaçant sa journaliste de France vers la RDC et de Kinshasa vers Kananga pour répondre à l'invitation. Sonia Rollet a été entendue pendant plus de 3 heures. Elle était debout, elle était sereine et elle a rendu ces renseignements qui, nous croyons, vont aider la justice congolaise à bien dire le droit, étant donné qu'elle avait mené des investigations sans avoir en l'esprit que ces éléments d'investigation allaient être exploités par la justice, mais c'est fait que la justice a trouvé que ces éléments d'investigation devraient aider la justice à comprendre ce qui s'est réellement passé dans les faits ayant trait à l'assassinat de 2 experts des Nations Unies.
Maître Jean-Marie Kabengela, joint par Edmond Sadaka, et notez que vous pouvez retrouver sur notre site internet toutes les enquêtes de RFI sur ce double assassinat, violence au Kasaï et Congo Files, donc sur rfi.fr. Le Tchad et l'appel du chef du village de Sido dans le sud du pays, près de la frontière avec la Centrafrique. Cela fait des années qu'il accueille des réfugiés ayant traversé cette frontière pour fuir les violences et il fait face depuis quelques jours à un nouvel afflux, appel à l'aide et à la fourniture de biens de première nécessité de Ngartia Abel Sumbakwa, le chef traditionnel donc de Sido.
Depuis le 9, les forces armées centrafricaines et ses alliés ont attaqué Kagabandoro et on a commencé à avoir des gens Sido, Tchad. Et maintenant, là où ils traversent,
Burkina Faso et le Niger, un engin explosif a détonné au passage de leur véhicule. Tandis qu'au Mozambique, dans la province du Cabo Delgado, des combats sont à nouveau signalés dans la ville de Palma, ville attaquée au mois de mars par les djihadistes locaux et dont le gouvernement assure depuis avoir repris le contrôle. Affrontements à Palma, mais aussi en même temps dans deux autres localités situées dans un rayon de 200 km. Le Conseil de sécurité des Nations Unies, toujours divisé au sujet de l'Éthiopie et des violences en cours dans la région du Tigré. Le sujet était à nouveau discuté hier à New York, une nouvelle fois à l'initiative des États-Unis et une nouvelle fois à huis clos. Une séance centrée sur la situation humanitaire et marquée par les témoignages d'utilisation du viol et de la famine comme arme de guerre. À New York, Carrie Doten.
Le chef de l'humanitaire à l'ONU, Mark Lowcock, n'a pas épargné les diplomates des détails. Hier, il y a raconté comment une femme du Tigré avait perdu son nouveau-né, puis son mari, avant de se faire violer par plusieurs soldats érythréens devant le reste de ses enfants. Il a rapporté aussi comment les fillettes dès 8 ans étaient des cibles. Malgré la réunion en visioconférence, tous les diplomates semblaient particulièrement bouleversés par ces récits. Le Conseil est divisé avec d'un côté la Russie, la Chine, le Kenya, soutenu par les pays africains du Conseil, qui estiment qu'Addis Abeba a déjà fait des efforts avec les annonces d'accès humanitaire et leur appel au départ des Érythréens. De l'autre, les pays occidentaux qui affirment suivre de près la mise en œuvre des déclarations éthiopiennes et commencent, pour certains, à s'impatienter. Les États-Unis, choqués du manque d'unité du Conseil, aimeraient ainsi passer à une vitesse supérieure pour donner un signal fort au gouvernement éthiopien. Mark Lowcock a en tout cas été catégorique. La situation au Tigré a empiré. 4,5 millions sur 6 millions de personnes ont besoin d'aide humanitaire. Il a ainsi provoqué la furie de l'ambassadeur éthiopien à l'ONU qui l'a accusé de se comporter en ennemi déterminé. Carrie Doten, New York, RFI.
Les pays africains face au coronavirus et l'agence sanitaire de l'Union africaine qui estime que le continent est actuellement dans une impasse pour son approvisionnement en vaccins et que cela pourrait affecter les campagnes de certains pays. Beaucoup de pays du continent attendent en fait des livraisons du sérum d'AstraZeneca en provenance d'Inde. L'Inde qui fait face en ce moment à des records de contamination et a décidé de retarder ses exportations. À Madagascar qui a décidé seulement récemment c'est fermé 2 semaines de plus, pas de rentrée lundi prochain donc pour les élèves. Mesure prise hier pour tenter de faire face à une hausse des contaminations observée depuis le début du mois de mars. Une décision qui soulage parents et professeurs dans les zones les plus touchées, même si certains craignent des risques de décrochage scolaire. À Antananarive, Laetitia Bezin.
Dans la capitale, une école primaire et un collège ont
Fuck.
du pays.
On est perplexe déjà l'année dernière. On a envoyé la dernière trimestre, il y a les lacunes. En ce moment encore, ils ont refusé sans nous consulter. Alors qu'ici à Maroncette, il n'y a pas de nécessité de Covid. Là. Il y a beaucoup d'élèves qui sont vraiment inquiets. C'est impossible de suivre la distance. Il n'y a pas de connexion. On est en train de penser comment on va faire.
La fermeture des écoles l'année dernière a affecté plus de 7 millions d'enfants malgaches d'après les statistiques de l'UNICEF. Laetitia Bezin, Antananarive ou RFI.
Dans l'actualité également, des peines de prison à vie prononcées en Côte d'Ivoire et en France. En Côte d'Ivoire, pour le chef milicien Amadé Oueremi, reconnu coupable notamment de crimes contre les populations, séquestration et pillage. pour la mort de plusieurs centaines de personnes en mars 2011 dans la localité de Douékoué. Et en France, au procès des bombardements du camp militaire de Boaké, lors duquel 9 soldats français et un civil américain ont été tués en 2004. Les 3 pilotes biélorusses et ivoiriens écopent aussi de prison à vie, tous 3 condamnés en leur absence, et le parti civil déplore un procès qui n'aura pas permis de faire toute la lumière sur les faits. Enfin, au Mali, les autorités de transition fixent des dates pour des prochaines élections. Premier tour de la présidentielle et des législatives le 27 février 2022 avec d'éventuels second tours les 13 et 20 mars respectivement. Et avant cela, au mois d'octobre.
Oh, now, for some reason, I don't have text to speech on this Android box. I've been trying to figure out exactly how they did that to me. It's another speech saver. I think could be a trend. Oh, this one's interesting. Brazil's P1. Oh, damn. We'll just read it. It's from Reuters. 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 Thomson Reuters, or whatever. I think we own this. We used to. Brazil's P1 coronavirus variant mutating may become more dangerous. Study. Rio de Janeiro, Reuters. Brazil's P1 coronavirus variant behind a deadly COVID-19 surge in the Latin American country that is speak Portuguese. That has raised international alarm is mutating in ways that could make it better able to evade antibodies, according to scientists studying the virus. Latin America. I'm pretty sure that's not correct. Research conducted by the Public Health Institute, Fiocruz, FIOCRUZ, into the variants circulating in Brazil found mutations in the spike region of the virus that is used to enter and infect cells. Those changes, the scientists said, could make the virus more resistant to vaccines, which target the spike protein, with potentially grave implications for the severity of the outbreak in Latin America's most populous nation. Latin. Quote, we believe it's another escape mechanism the virus is creating to evade the response of antibodies, said Felipe Naveca, one of the authors of the study and part of Fiocruz in the Amazon city of Manaus, where the P1 variant is believed to have originated. Naveca said the changes appeared to be similar to the mutations seen in the it's Portuguese with the C and Cyrillic, it's in Navesa. So the changes appear to be similar to the mutation seen in the even more aggressive South African variant, against which studies have shown some vaccines have substantially reduced efficacy. Quote, this is particularly worrying because the virus is continuing to accelerate in its evolution, he added. There's an apostrophe missing. Studies have shown the P1 variant to be as much as 2.5 times more contagious than the original coronavirus and more resistant to antibodies. It's coming back again. On Tuesday, France suspended all flights to and from Brazil in a bid to prevent the variant spread as Latin America's largest economy becomes increasingly isolated. The variant, which has quickly become dominant in Brazil, is thought to be a large factor behind a massive second wave. Oh, okay. That has brought the it's relevant. It's only relative. It's not subjective. It's not objective. It has brought the country's death toll to over 350,000, the second highest in the world behind the United States. Right here, you should put the two population numbers because I don't remember them off the top of my head. Did I just read them? I don't think so. Brazil's outbreak is also increasingly affecting younger people, with hospital data showing that in March, more than half of all patients in intensive care were aged 40 or younger. I'm going to rephrase that. That means the average or median, the average age, the average age is less than 40. But I couldn't tell you specifically what it is from what they're showing me here. For Esther Sabino, a scientist at the Faculty of Medicine of the University of Sao Paulo who led the first genome sequencing of the coronavirus in Brazil, the mutations of the P1 variant are not surprising given the fast pace of transmission. Listen to this very carefully, quote, unless I fuck it up. Quote, if you have a high level of transmission like you have in Brazil at the moment, your risk of new mutations and variants increases, she said. Biocruise researchers, including Navesa, also recently described a novel variant descended from a different lineage to P1 and detected in the northeast of the country that carried 14 defining mutations. There's a typo there, a minor one. There's an I missing. DEFNING. Mutations including the E484K change first noted in the South African variant. There's a link here. I know. I'm not aware of exactly what that one change means, but there's 14 mutations. Oh. So far, vaccines such as those developed by AstraZeneca and China's Sinovac have proven effective against the P1 Brazilian variant, but Sabino said further mutations could put that at risk. Quote, it's a real possibility, she said. I don't have to say quote if I can see that it says she said or something like that, but I can't always see that. These people will put one sentence across 3 paragraphs sometimes. The Thomson Reuters trust principles are state. I thought it was like trust company or something. Oh, what are these other ones? A bunch of recalls. Well, I didn't buy any of that shit. I'm not helping you. Pedophiles being picked up will probably get released again. Let's see. The average home price is, I think it said 718,000 in Canada. The average across Canada. Oh, yeah. I can only handle so much of this at a time. There's they are breeding humans in. Okay, so I didn't read it. I couldn't tell you the technicality of what they're doing. They're putting test tube babies in monkey embryos. Is what it is essentially what it said, but I don't think that's technically the correct way to phrase that. And I hope you got the important part of that. Is not which variant or where it is. There are going to be many. There were 146 variants last year. That's why they use the term variants of concern. They don't just say variants. There's lots of them. And if you might find one matches your DNA perfectly to just fucking take you out, and they don't consider it a variant of concern. Just hypothetically. Let's just show me my eyes closed. It's just weird because I'm looking at the screen as it happens.
Qu'on aura, c'est d'abord réussir le sommet et que les engagements qui sont pris soient respectés dans l'avenir.
Il y a 15 mois, Emmanuel Macron et le président ivoirien Alassane Ouattara ont acté la fin de la relation institutionnelle entre la Banque de France et le franc CFA.
et la transformation du franc CFA en éco. Cette annonce n'avait pas été du goût des pays anglophones, membres de la CEDEAO, ni du Nigeria. Avez-vous abordé ce sujet avec vos interlocuteurs et que leur avez-vous dit si c'est le cas?
Ça n'a pas été abordé, mais c'est le choix des pays qui ont transformé le CFA en éco et que nous sommes favorables à toute action qui permettrait de renforcer les partenariats entre ces pays-là. Moi, je suis tout à fait satisfait de la zone de libre-échange africaine qui est, à notre avis, un formidable atout pour le continent pour développer son économie. Et si demain, il y a des partenariats plus forts en matière monétaire, je pense que ça irait aussi dans le bon sens, mais c'est le choix des Africains.
Merci, Monsieur le ministre.
Franck Riester, ministre français délégué en charge du commerce extérieur, de l'attractivité, l'invité ce matin de Lisa Fabian. Dans une minute, on retrouve Norbert Navarro pour une revue de presse. Avant cela, l'essentiel de l'actualité de ce vendredi. La France a officiellement dépassé la barre des 100 000 morts depuis le début de l'épidémie de Covid-19. Toujours plus de 5 900 malades en réanimation, chiffre au plus haut depuis le printemps de l'an dernier. La France actuellement confinée. Le président Emmanuel Macron s'est entretenu avec les maires et une partie du gouvernement hier pour évoquer certaines réouvertures dans un mois, notamment les terrasses des bars et restaurants ainsi que les musées. Des sanctions contre la Russie de la part des États-Unis, sanctions financières et expulsion de diplomates. Le président américain Joe Biden entend notamment punir les ingérences russes dans le processus électoral. Joe Biden a signé ce décret tout en renouvelant sa proposition d'un sommet avec Vladimir Poutine pour engager, dit-il, la désescalade des tensions. Enfin, le président brésilien Jair Bolsonaro a promis dans une lettre adressée à son homologue américain de mettre fin à la déforestation illégale en Amazonie d'ici 2030, même si les surfaces déboisées n'ont cessé d'augmenter depuis son arrivée au pouvoir. Et c'est donc l'heure de la revue de presse. Bonjour.
Coupable du bombardement de Bouaké par la cour d'assises de Paris, 9 soldats français et un civil américain avaient été tués en novembre. Lors de ce bombardement qui avait fait aussi 38 blessés dans les rangs de l'armée française, introuvable depuis des années, le mercenaire bélarusse Yuri Souchkine et les deux officiers de l'armée de l'air ivoirienne, Patrice Houey et Ange Nianduyé, ont été reconnus coupables d'assassinat et de tentative d'assassinat. Et la cour d'assises n'a pas su dire qui avait donné l'ordre de bombarder le MES de l'emprise militaire française basée au lycée Descartes de Bouaké, et pas davantage pourquoi. Et puis en Côte d'Ivoire même, prison à perpétuité également pour Amadé Ouérémy, condamné pour les massacres perpétrés contre les populations au quartier Carrefour de Djokwe du 28 au 29 mars 2011 et qui ont fait officiellement 817 morts. Outre la prison à vie, Amadé Ouérémy devra verser aux victimes de ces tueries un montant estimé à plus d'1,5 milliard de francs CFA.
Dans la revue de presse Afrique également, ce matin, Norbert, l'incendie qui s'est déclaré dans une école nigérienne à Niamey.
Oui, une vingtaine d'enfants ont péri dans cette tragédie qui interpelle les consciences et qui suscite des interrogations sur l'état des établissements scolaires en Afrique de l'Ouest où les enseignants s'inquiètent pour la sécurité de leurs élèves. Et puis dans votre revue de presse Afrique, nous évoquerons aussi, Xavier, le destin de ces casques bleus originaires de la région éthiopienne du Tigré qui ont été retirés de force des contingents éthiopiens et renvoyés vers l'Éthiopie où certains auraient été torturés et exécutés alors que la guerre faisait rage dans cette région du Tigré, une sorte de purge au sein de ces contingents de casques bleus éthiopiens. Les faits remontent au début de l'offensive militaire lancée en novembre 2020 par le gouvernement central d'Éthiopie contre les forces du TPLF qui dirige le Tigré.
Merci Norbert Navarro, et à tout à l'heure donc. Comme tous les vendredis maintenant, on retrouve Charlotte Ntamax, c'est la parole de Charlotte. Et vous nous dites, vous nous parlez ce matin de Charlotte, de quelqu'un qui est adulé lorsqu'il arrive au pays, mais qui devient sujet de raillerie lorsque son séjour s'éternise.
Il n'y a pas plus moqué dans notre société comme l'ancien parigot. Ancien parigot, c'est le titre honorifique attribué à l'ancien parisien, ce benguiste subitement revenu au pays, soi-disant pour des vacances à une période hors vacances et n'est plus jamais reparti. Si le parigot, encore appelé mbenguiste à la côte chez nous, il faut dire que cette côte est valable tant qu'elle est bien cotée en bourse, tant que sa bourse est pleine de devises. Le titre de parigot est valide. L'ancien parigot le comprendra à ses dépens une fois les derniers euros dépensés et dès lors qu'il aurait quitté l'hôtel ou l'appartement meublé qu'il occupait lors de son arrivée pour rejoindre le domicile familial au quartier de son enfance. Je dis, votre benguiste-ci dit même qu'il rentre quand non. Ça, c'est quelles vacances qui durent depuis plus d'1 an. Vous êtes sûr qu'on ne l'a pas rapatrié. Évidemment, notre parigot rebâti.
Our teachers and take an active interest in their welfare. Thank you.
Oh, I thought it was on his books. Did I misread the intro?
Jack, we'll be back in just a minute. But first, quality of product is essential to continuing success. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. LSMFT. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette. Remember what happens at the tobacco auction? Season after season, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows. Mr. James Ball, ace tobacco auctioneer of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, sold 7.5 million pounds of tobacco in just 24 days. A world record. Not long ago, he said,
season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine, ripe, mellow leaf, tobacco that makes a swell smoke. I've smoked Lucky's myself for 29 years.
So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. Yes, next time you buy cigarettes, ask for Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Are you fucking serious?
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to listen to the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show on Sundays and A Day in the Life of Dennis Day on Wednesday. Well, kids, I'm glad you all enjoyed the Thanksgiving dinner, and oh, darn it, I just remembered something. I forgot to invite Norman Krasna. I better call him up and apologize and ask him to dinner tonight. Norman Krasna's residence. I'd like to speak to Mr. Krasna, please. This is Jack Benny. I'm sorry, but Mr. Krasna is busy at the moment. Could I give him a message? Yes, I'd like you to find out if he can go out to dinner with me tonight. Just a moment, I'll ask him. Hello? Hello, what did Mr. Krasna say? Good, but tell him 8 o'clock. Goodbye.
I just wanted to hear Rochester.
Ever tried? Did you like it?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to just drive to the next window for your order because there are people waiting behind you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. The next window. Yeah, right over there. Thank you.
Looking for tips on how to talk with your teens about cannabis? Visit drugfreekidscanada.org for more tools to help start the conversation. drugfreekidscanada.org.
We believe in a greater Toronto. This is CFMJ Global News Radio 640 Toronto.
Bear in mind, the kids here in this generation have the lowest, or they did have the lowest.
This is Global News. I'm Toby Kerr. The government House leader has asked the Speaker of the House of Commons to investigate a photo leak of a Liberal MP caught naked on camera during a virtual sitting of Parliament.
Admiral Rodriguez says the incident involving Quebec MP William Amos was mean-spirited and has been life-changing for him. And he suggests there could be serious implications for the person who took and shared the intimate image of Amos. Rodriguez says taking a photo of someone who's changing clothes and in the nude and sharing it without their consent could very well be criminal. During virtual House of Commons sittings, only those who speak are shown on the public feed, so Amos's fellow MPs could see him on camera, but he did not appear on the main screen. Terry Pidlip, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
The federal Liberals are dismissing the Conservative Party's plan to tackle climate change. Environment Minister Jonathan Wilkinson says he's skeptical about the sincerity of the Conservatives to do anything to protect the environment.
After failing to acknowledge climate change is real only a few weeks ago, I do not trust this party will do any of what they are saying they will do in this insufficient pamphlet.
The Conservative plan would see Canadians pay a smaller carbon tax and also divert some of that money into an account for living a greener life. That money would be managed with a debit card-like system and could be used for things like a bike or bus pass. A major ruling Thursday could see Canadians pay less for cell phone service. The Canadian Radio and Television Commission has allowed some regional companies to piggyback on the big three wireless networks while keeping their own customer base. CRTC Chairman Ian Scott says the ruling furthers ongoing work to make mobile phone plans more affordable.
Not exactly.
Rates have been coming down, and they've been coming down pretty consistently, and you can see the statistics for that on our website in the monitoring report, but they're still too high, and they need to come down further. And this regulatory model is designed to make sure that happens.
But Laura Tribe with the consumer advocacy group Open Media predicts the ruling won't have an impact on prices because it's too limited in scope and will fail to build much-needed wireless competition in Canada. The man who's overseeing logistical planning for Canada's vaccine distribution says 12.7 million doses of vaccine have been delivered to provinces and territories to date. Major
Alors que les troupes russes se massent à la frontière ukrainienne, l'armée américaine n'exclut pas le risque d'une invasion russe dans les prochaines semaines. Le président ukrainien Volodymyr Zelensky veut toujours adhérer à l'OTAN. Il sera aujourd'hui à Paris, rencontre face à face avec Emmanuel Macron et en visioconférence avec Angela Merkel.
Call from eyewitnesses to the encounter between police and George Floyd to use of force and medical experts. The defense began their case on Tuesday and called a total of 7 witnesses. The prosecution recalled 1 witness this morning as a rebuttal to defense testimony yesterday. Both sides have now rested and will prepare for closing arguments on Monday. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
In sports, one game in the NHL's North Division, the Jets beat the slumping Maple Leafs 5-2, 2 goals each for Nick Ehlers and Kyle Connor.
Le Japon y voit un intérêt pour lui renouvelé, dont il se réjouit, et puis un intérêt aussi pour la région dans son ensemble, enfin au sens Asie-Pacifique, et puis comment aborder la Chine, comment la gérer. Il est assez réticent sur cette idée de sanctions face à la Chine pour le moment. En revanche, je crois qu'il sera d'accord pour dire toute l'importance qu'il accorde à Taïwan. Ça, il a d'autant plus de raisons de le faire qu'il l'a déjà fait, puisqu'en 1969, il disait déjà que Taïwan était important pour sa propre sécurité. Donc ça, ce ne serait que réitérer quelque chose. Donc ça, je pense qu'il le fera sans difficulté. Après, avec quelles conséquences? C'est-à-dire, est-ce qu'il serait, le Japon, disposé à intervenir contre la Chine aux côtés des États-Unis si Taïwan était attaqué? Ce serait un tel cataclysme. Enfin, ce serait vraiment un game changer. Ce serait quand même quelque chose de tout à fait considérable. Si la Chine s'en prenait à Taïwan, je crois que le Japon se sentirait obligé de réagir avec les États-Unis. Oui, incontestablement. Là, je pense qu'il serait obligé de mettre de côté ses précautions, malgré tout.
Dubourg de la Motte du département d'études japonaises de l'INALCO qui sera l'invité d'Appel sur l'actualité tout à l'heure à 8h temps universel. La Chine.
It's McCardle, General Manager. The following is an accounting of my expenditures during my assignment on the island of Pinyu-Tan. Or, south of the equator, things can get hot in more ways than one. Or, mother, call my draft board. I'm leaving the country again. Expense account, item 1. $830.81, and 3.5 shillings. Airfare, Hartford, Connecticut to Port Moresby, territory of Papua, island of New Guinea. That's a long trip, brother. By the time I got there, I felt that my spine could use a new seating arrangement. Expense account item 2, $36.80. New outfit consisting of bush jacket, linen shorts, and a pith helmet. Item 3, 2 bits. The street beggar regarding location of building in which was situated the Port Moresby branch of the 7 Seas Maritime Underwriters Association.
Oh, him, I want to ask him about what fella? Little big bit money. You catch me sleep outside. You enjoy a big fella, but could you put him cry? You know my house blown from there, no?
No. Thanks a lot. I'll go look it up in the telephone book.
Yes, sir, I'm Mr. Marty. And it's lovely having you here, Mr. Dollar.
I wish I could say the same about being here.
Now you get used to it.
I don't expect to be here that long.
Cool. You're a feisty one, aren't you? You have a very large job to do.
Mm-hmm. Let's just say I'm usually very lucky. But first, let me tell you what I've been told so far, and then if I've left out anything, you fill me in, okay?
That will be typical, Mr. Dollar.
Your company issued a group insurance policy to the Grand East Development Corporation in the United States. Now, that company used $50,000 life insurance policies as part of the inducement to get executives and divers for their furling fleet.
That's right.
About a month ago, they got word that the bodies of 2 of their 6-man crew on the island of Tinyutan had been found hacked to pieces. The other 4 men were missing, which adds up to a possible insurance payoff of $350,000. That's what I'm doing here, and that's all I know.
Well, that's all there is to know.
Oh, dandy. Hasn't anybody done anything? What about the police?
They got their own troubles right here in the port. Send this to the government officials. They'll look into it the next time around. It should be in about 90 days.
Oh, fine. That leaves you. What have you been doing to earn your money? Waiting for me?
Well, you could put it that way, Mr. Dolan.
Why haven't you gone over to Tinyutan?
Well, now you might say that I'm just not a man of great courage, eh? Hey, but I can help you to get there.
Oh, thanks. Heaps. Hey, ahoy there, aboard the Kitty What do you want? I'm looking for Captain Steve Granger. That's me. On aboard. Captain Granger, I'm Johnny Dollar. Pleased to meet you. Mr. Narkey of the 7 Seas Maritime Underwriters tells me you might be available for a charter job. Where to? Tinyutan. Huh? Well, I guess so. It's a big boat. It'll cost you big money. Narkey says your prices are fair. When do we leave? I'll be ready by 5. I can't be 2. Good. I'll go get my toothbrush. Good. And since you're going to Tinyutan, you might also bring one other thing. A 45. Anyway, with the 2-masted schooner. And skim the swell of the Arupa Sea like the saltwater bird after which it was named. I guess I'm like most guys. When I'm standing on my sea legs, I suddenly feel like a giant, standing alone against the world. Romance is no longer a sleazy blonde in a tinny bar. All of a sudden, it's all stars and sky, horizon. When the wind and the water start to sing their song to me, any bad in me decides to reform. I was standing on top of the deck house like Captain Horatio Hornblower, with my legs spread and my outstretched hands gripping a pair of backstays. Or at least that's what I think they were. And just about the time I'd reached the decision to trade my Hartford apartment for a berth on a Macassar curling lugger, I heard a footstep from out of the night behind me.
Yeah, passage, eh?
Oh, yeah, Captain. Guess you caught me dreaming.
A waste of time. This is the only place where dreaming can't possibly be as good as living. It's none of my business, but this sudden jump in Tinyutan tourist site. What's it all about?
What do you mean sudden?
Well, this is the first time I've ever taken one passenger there, let alone 2.
2?
Yeah, another guy came to me after you did. He's below deck.
Oh.
Well, that ought to make you happy. It'll cut you fair in half.
About that, I'll just let the guy who pays my expenses be happy. As for me, I like privacy. Who is this guy?
Look, Dollar, I didn't ask you any questions, did I? Well, I didn't ask him any.
In my racket, coincidence is just another name for trouble. I wanted to get a look at and trade some words with my suddenly acquired fellow passenger, but he wasn't having it. He stuck to his cabin, claiming seasickness. However, from the native galley boy, I learned that he was eating like a horse, which in my book was a new way of being seasick. I borrowed a copy of Western Story magazine from the skipper, crawled into my bunk, and let the kitty-wake rock me to sleep. The next morning and afternoon were as uneventful as they were beautiful. And at sunset, we raised the island of Pinutan. All right, boys! Here's where you gotta work! House all sails! We'll go in under power! Hey, Tiki! Hey, what? Here's the crew of the ship! Got enough help back here! Tiki, don't go! Hey, place that flag! Don't leave it just lying in a big heap! All right, start the engine! The big gas engine took over where the wind dropped it. Captain Granger stood at his wheel, outfencing his submerged swords of fall with the slim prow of the kitty-wake. The ship had only inches of elbow room as we chewed our way through the boiling white passage of the reef. And my heart felt suddenly becalmed as we finally achieved the peaceful waters of the lagoon, which it protected. Let's go to the power anchor! Hey, never mind that anchor. All fix you up. We're getting out of here. Captain Steve Granger looked like a hard man to scare, but what I saw up ahead on the beach would scare a hard man. The broken body of a shipwrecked curling water, and hanging from its foremast, the elongated body of a native who had been strangled out of one paradise and into another. Granger spun the wheel to starboard, and the kitty-wake started a retreat, but it wasn't that easy. We're staying here. I was getting a chance to meet my fellow passengers. I couldn't very well shake hands with them, though, because he had a gun in each one of them. What the devil's your case, Stevie? I said, touch your paw. Got it! Keep that girl Kanakas up forward. If you don't, we could use a few less natives around here. Hey, well, clack, get back. I want to know what you're telling them. You, Dollar, get back there by the wheel. Keep your boys back there, Granger, I warned you. All right, you think I won't call your bluff? Cut. No, I'm native, dog. You can't stop the other two, I can. Now, maybe you'll tell me what you were saying to them. I told them there was a crazy man aboard and to go over the side. They decided to protect me. They didn't make it. Now lay this rowboat in close to the beach and drop your hook. We're staying. One Mac Keeley, 2 guns, and what was left of 12 bullets had me outnumbered. I decided the best thing I could do was stay quiet and stay alive. And apparently the skipper felt the same way. After we dropped anchor, Keeley herded us into the small boat and we rowed him ashore. His gun shoved us up a path, through a grove of nipa palms and into a clearing. First natives I saw there were even deader than the ones we had just left on the kitty-wake. About a dozen of them in a semicircle. And what added up to the red-crusted craters on their naked, withering bodies was sticking out of a window in a small wooden tin-roofed hut. The water-cooled barrel of a .30 caliber machine gun. South Sea Island magic, huh? Oh, I heard you were a wise guy. Well, that can be changed. Come on, inside, both of you. Keely, my friend. Boy, you're shooting over the water. What's the matter? Big trouble you have getting here? Yeah, no, boss, here's a little one. Big blonde guy's the skipper. We got his boat with a good one. This other one,
He's an insurance investigator. Oh, yeah, Cortez, I'm your new nursemaid. The insurance company sent me out here to look you up and take care of you. I hope I get around to it. My way. Hey, Keely, what's that you say? You got my vote. Yeah, don't worry, big boy. We're going to pay you for it. We might even go as high as $500. Oh, that's great. It's only worth $50,000. Oh, having 500 alive is better than 50,000 dead, my friend. What's your pitch? It's simple. We're going off this island. We got a long way to go. Cortez, me, and a native girl. She's in the next room. We may have to stay at sea for a couple of months. Not on my ship. Use your head, you won't get hurt. Hey, you woman! Get back in there. No, I did. Really, put her away. Keep her out of here. Yeah, for such an ugly broad, you sure has got a pretty name. Papa Liar. Well, Dollar, you've seen yourself a South Sea Island princess. She's your date, Keely, not mine. Boy, Dollar, they do look like they were meant for each other. Maybe you wouldn't be a sales drinker. Now, what about your boat? Do we get it with a bill of sale or without one? Either way, it's all right with me. If you take what goes. Cortez out of the room with Nature Girl. Dangerous move looked like a good one. I was halfway across the room to make it 2 against 1 for the right side when the odds snapped back to even money again. Cortez came rushing back to join the fray, and he started fighting when he was 5 yards away. Just about then, Nature Girl came charging out of the quarter, swinging a chair over her head. I just got in position to shoot a right hand at Keely's chin, while another shot from Cortez's gun split me on my own. Fort grazed his square in the forehead, and he went down without a sound. I had time for one more try. Keely's chin telegraphed a knockout message. Da-da-da, da-da-da, KO, bank up my arm. But something was wrong. Oh, I passed out. In just a moment, we'll return to the second act of Johnny Dollar. But first, 50,000 or more, always in the jackpot on Sing It Again. Music by Gene Autry and Vaughn Monroe. Music and thrills with Gangbusters, Philip Marlowe, Johnny Dollar, and Danny Clover, the Broadway cop. That's the one-way ticket to top fun on most of these CBS stations every Saturday night. This fall, when you hear them all on CBS, Saturday night promise top music, top adventure, and a chance at radio's top prize. Now, with our star, Charles Russell, we return to the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. It was a beautiful dream while it lasted. It wasn't night, it was morning. I was in a hammock slung between 2 banyan trees, framed in hibiscus bushes. Someone was bathing my face with a cool, damp, gardenia-scented cloth. A tame parrot was feeding me toasted pumpkin seeds. As a smooth-skinned, soft-skinned, copy or ray-skinned, half-caste, and all-woman type girl gazed into my eyes and cooed softly in my ear. This doll would make Dorothy Lamour look like an Irish washerwoman, and the boot she was wearing a short salon.
Oh, poor man. Please wake up.
Hey, it wasn't a dream. It was really happening. Everything was there. All but the parrot and his lousy pumpkin seeds, and who needed him?
Oh, poor man. Please wake up.
So where am I? Studio One? Huh? Who are you? I thought you were talking in my sleep.
I did that.
Oh, this is awful.
Awful?
Yeah, this all reminds me. My copy of Tales of the South Pacific is 17 days overdue at the Hartford Public Library.
How?
Forget it. Where am I? What am I doing here? And who are you?
I am Peter. You were brought here by the Princess Papalaya from the village of Great Bay.
Oh, well, that place isn't hard to remember. Wish I could forget it. The princess? The one with the droopy ears, the long feet? The flat nose, the pot belly, the bad complexion and dirty hair?
Yes, you do.
She's a doll. Last time I saw her, she was swinging a chair at my head.
Oh, no. This other fella on her after stay with you. She saved you. She likes you. She told me to save you for her.
Oh, what a way to die. Why didn't she hit me over the head with a chair? Hey, you speak pretty fair English. Where'd you pick it up?
My father was Chinese merchant on island of New Guinea. Same time as the war. You like me out?
Certainly do. Sorry I didn't bring a Hershey bar. But tell me, why did the Princess Papaya, whatever her name is, why did she save me?
I tell you. You like you.
Oh, stop saying that. But all I want to know is, what was she doing with Keely and Cortez? You know Keely and Cortez, don't you?
Yes, I know them. They're bad. I work in village until they make the great bear. They kill all their friends and many natives. They're bad.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. What was that all about?
They died for prisoners for a long time. The native boys, they do not like these men. They do not fight anymore. So these bad men steal all pearls first. Then they steal princess to make boys die some more.
Oh, kidnap, ransom, more pearls?
What is this? Ransom?
Oh, that means they'll hold the princess and won't give her back until they get what they want.
Oh.
But, Dream Girl, to me, it seems like that wouldn't work for a gal like you. No, just holding you was getting what I want. Only one thing wrong. My knees were getting a little knobby, thanks to a combination of insects and my new white linen shorts. However, Punta was good nerve medicine. The rest of the story came out later, and in her soft voice, it was a bloody kind of lullaby. She told me to sleep with the facts that the natives had tried to rescue their princess from Keely and Cortez, which gave me an answer to that semicircle of machine gun bodies outside their shack. Also that the princess had taken temporary refuge up in the hills. As nearly as I could figure out, I was left facing a very peculiar problem. 2 men out of 6 insured men had killed the other 4, and the 2 murderous survivors had this much going for them. To the insurance company, they were still worth $50,000 apiece on the hook, which meant that my job was to keep alive 2 guys I felt very much like killing. And believe me, they felt the same about me. And with these beautiful, happy, restful thoughts, I left the call for darkness and went back to sleep. And who do you think I wound up with in my dreams? That hokey old parrot and his lousy pumpkin seed.
Johnny, it's time to get up.
Oh.
Hurry from your sleep, Johnny. There is more trouble.
Hey, somebody's being straight. What's going on?
They are killing them with their machine guns. My people trying to fight them off the island, but they are being killed. Now you must stop and leave my people. Let them kill those bad men.
This you won't understand, Gorgeous, but my job is to stop your people and save Keely and Cortez.
You see that now? You are one of them.
No, I'm not one of them. I told you wouldn't understand. There's something I don't understand. Why don't they leave? They've got what they want. Why don't they pick up their pearls and the schooner and the rotten hides and get out of here?
Johnny, they do not have the power. Here. See? This one is for you.
Black? Wow. You say for me? Where'd it come from?
The princess. She come back some time ago. She tell me she took all the pearls. She tell me to tell you that this black pearl is not company pearls. This her own for you. She likes you.
Oh, I like her, too. Just the way she is, up in the hills. Right now, I wish you looked like her.
Oh, Johnny. You don't like the way I look like I do?
I love the way you look like